Well, hello, YouTubers. Welcome back to Rudgy, aka the Doctor. I have good news. We've hit the 500 barrier. I had an email off YouTube congratulating me for going past 500. 507 of you have subscribed. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. I'm very pleased and thank you so much for doing that. For those of you who've just joined us or haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Why not? It just means it's free and it just means that you'll know whenever I put a new video out, which is usually on a Friday. So, if you're new to the channel, what's the channel about? Well, normally during the summer months, I live in an island called Kefalonia in Greece. And I go out on a daily basis on the motorbike and film stuff. It's usually beaches that people probably don't know are there. Some of the beauty spots that people do know are there and how to get to them. Local businesses that I think are probably above and beyond and need a good visit from you. Things like that. And ferries and stuff like that. It's all interesting stuff to people who like Greece and Kefalonia. Now, during the winter months, I have to finance this because YouTube aren't paying me anything, obviously. So during the winter months, I tend to come back to the UK and earn what I can, so I can go back and do all these videos during the summer. So at the moment, until February, I'm working 7 days a week if I can. Although, I'm very old now. So that's not always going to be possible. And not only that, but as I've said before, I don't mind talking about it. I have a mental health problem, suffer with depression, anxiety, stuff like that. So some days are quite difficult, and that's why I'm self-employed, because some days I find it difficult to go to work. So that sounds a bit, but that's what happens. And those of you who suffer, fellow sufferers, will understand that. Anyway, enough of that. This video today is about a ferry that I'm working on with Andy from A&J Thomas Boat Builders, a really talented wooden shipwright and boat builder. Him and his wife have a company that restore, build, and anything to do really with wooden boats they'll take on. Jenny's the engineer and the refinisher. Andy does all of that, but mainly specialises in the shipwriting side of things. And I'm really pleased and honoured that they asked me when I come back to Britain to help them. I do refinishing for them, labouring for them. Andy's taught me how to do the copper nailing, which you'll see in this video. I've learnt a lot off Andy actually. It's been a big privilege working with him. He's a very, very clever bloke, and I'm privileged to have him as my friend. I'm very proud to call him my friend, and the same with Jenny. Anyway. That's what this video is about. At the end of it, there will be a Kefalonian clip because I've been doing that since I come back, because I know a few of you miss Kefalonia and that's why you tune in to watch me. So I've chucked a few Kefalonia videos in. Now, coming up next week, probably, if the editing goes well, if not, it'll be a bit later on. There'll be a Christmas special looking back over the year in Kefalonia. So Kefalonia fans, you might like that. I will be posting from then on, as I said before, one video per month, which is dedicated to Kefalonia. But don't worry, all the ones that aren't will have something to do with Kefalonia tagged on the end, where I usually put the outtakes. So there you go. Anyway, without further ado, because I'm rambling on now, none of this is scripted. It's about the 80th time I've tried to do this. Hopefully this take will be all right. Let's get on with the video, and thanks ever so much, as I said before, for you lot subscribing. Okay, and as if by magic, now we're working on a boat. So today's project is the ferry from Ditcham. We've got to get all this varnish off and then revarnish it. I think we're doing the paintwork as well. I'm not sure. To ask Andy on that, he's the boss. Anyway, it's a heat gun and a scraper for me today. I'm trying to hold the camera with one hand, so basically what I'm doing is I'm holding the heat gun. You don't want to get it too close, probably about 4 or 5 inches away, and warming. You don't want to be burning it, just warming the varnish. And as I'm doing that, as soon as the varnish starts to get hot, just scraping it off, which leaves it like that. And then we'll sand it and prep it, and then it will be a couple of coats, wet coats, and then we'll go through the varnish coats then. So I'd best crack on. As you can see, you just wait for it to soften up, and it scrapes right off. But I find that if you keep the heat gun on it as you go along, you see how easy that's coming off. Just work back over it again. Whereas if you do it like this and then do that, it gives it time to cool down. So I find that if you keep the gun on it, it also keeps the tool nice and hot, which helps. So there we go, that's how it looks when it's stripped. I'll give you an idea. It's better, shows up better on the front, on the foredeck. Ready for sanding that area there, obviously. I'll best crack on. So there you go, there's before, and there, as if by magic, is after. What do you reckon, Andy? So now all I've got to do is get that side the same as that. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, as you can see, well, I don't know whether you can because it's not really showing up. Let's have a. We've had to reline the gazebo, the tent, whatever you're going to call it, the garage that we've got the boat in, because if I come up here, I don't know whether you can see that, the floor's soaking wet, and this is just starting to dry out now, but as you can see, everything was soaking wet up here. Not very good. So what me and Andy came up with was double glazing. I just happened to have a load of polythene, so what we've done is we've lined the inside of the tent with this polythene, and hopefully that'll stop the condensation. We're also going to put some heaters in, because obviously trying to varnish in these temperatures isn't going to work either, and that should be that. So time to crack on, finish off the last bit on this deck here that I didn't do, and then I'm going to go all the way around there and get that all done. Right, another day, another dime. As you can see, the copper nailing, because some of them needed replacing, didn't they, Andy?
Yeah, she's been shot blast a few years ago, and it's taken a lot of the nail heads off, which in effect isn't very strong. There you go, look. Nothing left on that at all. So,
there's a new one there. So there's, that's one that's been cut.
yeah, there's lots of cutting.
So there's a bigger version of what they're putting in. There's the head that Andy just showed you that was missing, and then it gets pushed through the planking, and then this gets put on, which is a rode, is it called?
Rove.
Rove. That gets pushed on.
R-O-V-E.
Gets pushed on like that. Then they snip the excess off, like cut the end of that off, and then you rivet it round the top of that. Simple as that, look, see?
There we go.
Anyway, we're going to show you now.
There's a nail, look. See him?
There's a nail there.
And the rove goes on there.
Rove's going on the top.
And then you use the rove punch, which is bored a hole down through, which allows the copper washer, or rove, to be driven up. That's a tight drift. So that acts as a clamp. And then, let's see what I'm doing with it. Then you're snipping off about 2 mil from the rove to allow enough material to rivet back.
And you rivet it over.
You on him, Nick?
Yep. So you can see what Andy's doing. Let's just show you what Nick's doing the other side. This is Andy's son here. Nick, who's holding the dolly on there. As simple as that, really.
There we go.
So,
And there it
there
is.
you go.
All riveted up.
All riveted up.
Brand new.
Like a new one in her. In the meantime, I've managed to get all the seats, all the benches stripped, all the varnish work on there, both foredeck and aft deck. Now this is an interesting point. I don't know whether it's showing up on the camera, but this boat was shot blasted, and Andy will tell you, he'll get all cross about this in a minute. Never shot blast a wooden boat, because if you do, I don't know whether it's showing up, but you can't get it's took all the soft grain out and left the hard, so that's raised and where my fingernail's gone. That's low. Anyway, we've only got a month to do this, 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So we better crack on. Andy.
Rocking about. Yeah, you showed me my butt. My cleavage.
I just wondered why you were.
No, I'm just checking for access.
All right.
So it's going to be very noisy in there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll come out of there all rattling to hell. If somebody's got to do it.
Might need some ear defenders.
Sometimes I can't hear what Nick's doing outside then.
Yeah.
So,
This is why we're all deaf.
tinnitus, here we come.
Yeah. Hey?
What?
What?
Yeah, so we're working up through, getting there. Yes.
Right, I've had a look, can't find another sharp. Now we're going to have to fix the one I've got. What are you doing, Andy?
I'm making these.
Oh, yeah.
These knees.
Look at that.
Do you like these?
I like these.
I'm doing 4 of these. Yeah.
Basically what he's doing is that bench was, or seat, whatever you want to call it, because we're on a boat after all, wasn't supported in the middle. So Andy's making some knees up under there to support it. Clever Andy.
More like silly Andy.
Look at that, what Andy's made.
Only roughed out at the moment, but yeah.
From the boat a little.
A little wonky.
I would imagine when the boat comes alongside, it will give it some extra strength as well, won't it?
Yeah, it'll tie everything in together. Yeah, should have been done a long time ago. I'm surprised it's held up, to be honest. You get 12 passengers on here, it's a lot of weight, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, getting there.
As my daughter would say, cool beans. Right, so the next mission is to primer all the heads of the nails that Andy and Nick have replaced, which I've done. I've had to wire brush the heads off, get rid of any loose paint, and then just lightly sand them back, because we'll primer them again, and then it'll get a etch back and some cream paint put on. Now in here, I don't know whether this will show up very well, but There's a flotation piece of polystyrene in there. This was full of shot blast, so Andy's hoovered it all out, and I'm in the process now, because you can't paint that, can you? So I'm in the process now of drying it out because it's damp, and cleaning it off. And that little area there has probably took me best part of half an hour to an hour. I'd say about an hour actually. Each one of these has got shot blast built up on it, as you can see there. Big lumps of it. You have to dry it off first and then hoover it out. I'm now going to wire brush the heads off, give it a quick wipe over, then I'll give it a bit of an etch with some paper, and then I can primer it, and that'll be another job done. So that's all cleaned out now. All the new rivets Andy and Nick have put in. I've primed all the heads. Replaced quite a few. Of course, some of them have been tightened up, but a lot of them have been replaced. So now they've been primed, I'm going over them with a white primer, because when we put the cream on, it will cover that bit better. Right, so here's an interesting dilemma. Found a rotten plank here, and it's behind this rubbing straight, so that's going to have to come off, which means I don't know whether you can see, but it's riveted on, so we're going to have to cut the rivets off, bang them back through, and then Andy will take that off, remove that, and it'll all be brand new, won't it, Andy?
Of course.
Oh, it's a good ninner. Like that, isn't there?
Stainless welding rods.
Alright, punch it out with them.
Yeah. Should get a hammer up here somewhere.
How far up do you want to go, all the way along?
Um,
Or just up to where it's scarfed in?
the scarf's here. So we'll have to take it up to here somewhere after that.
Okay, so just before the forepeak then.
Yeah. We'll see how this one comes off. I've got a feeling it's going to be rotten in the back.
Yeah.
But, see how it goes.
Well, I'll get a fair way up, knock them out, and so there you go. That's why we removed the rubbing straight. Put my finger through there, look. It's not very good, is it, Andy?
No.
He's going. No.
She's pulling out.
So yeah, we got the rubbing straight off there. You just saw me do the rivets for that. So it finishes here, this plank. So provided this one's all right, then we'll just, well, Andy will just replace that.
Just get this before we take the paper off. There's a lot more rivets to take out.
Yeah. So let's get after it. 3, 2, 1. So there you go. I've now ground the heads off the rows like this with a grinder, and then punched them through with a punch. And then Andy down there, my glamorous assistant, or is it the other way around? I think it might be the other way around. Anyway, yeah, he's now pulling the rivets out so that we can take the plank off. Or at least that's the theory. We'll let you know how it goes in just a minute. Probably be hours for us, but in TV land it'll be just a second. So there you go, there's Andy pulling the rivets out. So Andy's just been explaining how we're going to get the planking off the stern, the good plank, because obviously there's a good plank and a bad plank. One's very naughty and one's not quite so naughty. So he's been explaining how we're going to get that one off without damaging the end of it. What did you say, Andy?
Well, the planking has a diminishing rebate. So you've got to be very, very careful of where you cut the rivets.
I don't know why that's funny. I just
You're not used to such long words,
no,
are you?
no, we don't use them in the mechanic
Bit
butchery
like
area.
spectacular.
Spectacular, yeah. Yeah.
Dracula.
So we're about ready to pull the plank off
Fantastic.
again, as I said earlier. So, oh, the torch is a bit bright, Andy. That's a bit further away, that's it. Yeah, so I don't know whether you can see it on the camera, but there's like a feathered edge just there, that line there. And that's what me and Andy were laughing at earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes from nothing there up to the full thickness there. So the two sandwich into one.
Diminishing rebate.
There you go.
So there you go. See, you can't say you don't learn something every day on this channel, can you?
Right,
Nick's going, what? Everybody turns into a ventriloquist when I'm around. I go, right, I better get this off. Enough malarkey. Right, so the reason we've done that is that these were all rivets, well, copper nails with rods on the end, as we've explained earlier in this video how that works. So I've knocked those out, but these were actually nailed straight through into the transom. So Andy's out to cut them, like brain surgery. But anyway, I don't know whether the camera's picked that up. Yeah, you can just about make it out. Where it's cut through there, cut through the nail, so that we can remove that plank. All will become apparent fairly shortly.
Oh, hang on.
Another one?
Yeah, this nail.
Yeah. There it goes.
There we go. Broken the top edge of it. Spring on something back here.
Yeah.
Can't see anything breaking here.
Hold on a sec, it's catching on this little bit here.
And if you just put your hands underneath the bottom edge of that, that's it. Just to support it. Really tight on this bit. We'll have to keep an eye open for the wedges.
Yeah.
Because every other timber there's a supporting wedge. Really really important you keep this plank intact, because that's your template.
Yeah, it's coming.
Just have a look on the end, see if check there's no breakages going on.
No, it flew out then.
Okay, that's good. Doing something right. Okay. Need to support that end.
Yeah, I've got it here.
Alright mate, thank you. It's going to drop any second. There you go.
Tip that on its side a minute. Look at the shape of that. See, you learn something every day with Andy. Every day is a school day.
Flip it over. See where the rot is. Look. All the way up through. All through the middle of the plank. That's because water had got entrapped behind the rubbing strike.
Yeah.
There. Well done, chaps.
Tally ho.
Right.
There's that. Where's one of them wedges?
Okay.
And there's the other.
There's another one there. And this one.
On there.
Oh, drop it. Lay them flat, mate.
Yeah.
I know you like making pretty tight.
So there you go. Andy's a genius. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the plank now for the template.
Yeah. Didn't come out too bad, that didn't.
Off to John Moody Marine Timber to get a nice bit of mahogany.
Never know, he might sponsor the video. So we're going home now for our tea because it's late, and you'll see us tomorrow.
Bye.
As if by magic they disappeared, and today is another day. Right, so what are we on with today? Well, I've got to paint all these. That's one job, but I'm doing a bit of an engineering job today. Andy wants to do a bit of recorking on the front of the boat, on the bow area, and they've got this stainless plate because they run it up the beach. Now, when that's in place, as you can see, you can't really get to the seam, which, if I put the camera in there, is there. You won't be able to cork that because it's behind that. So to make it a bit easier, he said to me, could I cut a piece out of that? I've also over the years that bit's worn away, so there's no metal there at all, so I've got to make a piece up to go in there. And if we look at this side, in the grand tradition of television, here's one I've already done. So there we go, I've cut that seam out now, so expose that seam, sorry. So there you go, I've cut it all the way along there, which equates to that much. There's all sorts of shapes anyway, so it's a much nicer shape now. So yeah, better crack on and get after it. One of my top tips this morning is when you're using a DA like this, orbital sander, whatever you want to call it, let me show you something. Over the years I've worked with people who tip them in on the edge, like that. That is no good. It's no good for the sander, and it's no good for the job you're working on, as it puts a divot in. All you're doing then is working on a very small edge, like that. Now you wouldn't rub your finger across the job because you'd be putting a little dent in it, wouldn't you? And the same thing happens. Also, it completely destroys the bearings in your DA, and the edge of the pad makes the pad round, which makes it very difficult to get anything flat. You have to hold it flat, and don't put too much pressure on because you'll clog up the disc that you're using a lot quicker that way. Just let the disc and the DA do the work, all will be fine. Now, as you can see, this part of the job is now pretty much prepped. It's quite flat. Might give that another coat of white primer. because it'll cover a bit better. But anyway, yeah, we're getting on with it. I've got that piece there. There's one down there in front of the heater drying, and I've got that one there to do. And there's one in the workshop. And then I've got to gloss all that cream up, which Andy's already scuffed up. We're only just glossing over. Hence the phrase, glossing over something. We've got the back of the boat, there's a bit of rock work there. We're drying that out so we can treat it and do something with that. So we've got a heat lamp in there. I'll best get after it. Right, so I took a brief break from sanding. I've come out and de-dusted myself, believe it or not. Look, that's what came off me. Anyway, Andy's now going to explain what he's been doing with a huge great plank that he brought this morning. I didn't even see him bring it in, and now it's ready to be planed up and put into the boat. Anyhow, you remember the one we took out, which is this one here, earlier in this video. Over to you, Andy.
This is why it was so important to take the oak plank out in one and keep it as a template. And then you've got it verbatim then, rather than making templates, which is an absolute nightmare. So, yeah. Inch thick board, it's as thin as they do. Put this one basically on top, mark around it, rough it out, and then pop it through the planer.
Which is... Oh, have you put it away?
What?
The planer.
Oh yeah, I'll pack that away now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, now I've got to do the bevels where the planks meet top and bottom.
If I come round the end here, there you go, you can see the shape of it there. So Andy's got to plane that in by hand. And it's a what, diminishing?
Diminishing rebate.
A diminishing rebate?
Just on the stone. Yeah. It's more of a diminishing bevel actually.
Oh.
Where it goes away to nothing.
Yeah. So here, I don't know whether the camera's going to pick that up very well, but oh yeah. See how thin that is there?
And on here as well. Look.
And there as well.
See the rebate. Where it locks in.
Yeah. And that is going to go in the hole we made in the boat.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll fit.
So tomorrow I've got to go and put some cars together, and Andy's going to crack on and get that in, I think. And then we'll be on to staining, varnishing and splashing.
Get it looking pretty again.
Yeah. So next time you see us, it'll be tomorrow. So there you go. If your name's Wayne Toombs, what a treat, another boat. If it wasn't, you probably weren't that interested. Anyway, there will be, for car freaks, probably next week, I've been working at a garage in between doing the ferry. So I'll probably be showing you how to weld things together in the next video. Yeah, I know, I'm missing kefalonian as well. So without further ado, shall we go and see some kefalonian clips? I'm going to do a Q&A thing next week, because I've had a few emails of people asking questions. So I have answered one or two people, but I think probably it might be more interesting if I use the time on the video to answer it on here, so you can all see it, because there are some interesting questions being asked after Brexit about residency, about taking goods over there and stuff like that. So we'll tackle that next week maybe, or maybe the week after. Anyway, kefalonia. Yeah, well, couldn't help myself. Had to stop and get a coffee. So on the way back from Aia Famia, having had a coffee and getting depressed about anti-Semites. Never mind. There you go for all you ASOS fans. I know you like to see that, and it's difficult to film on the bike, so I thought while I'd got a minute I'd pull over for you. And there up in the distance is the new bridge they built after the other one fell down during the earthquake that we had. Good few years ago now that was, actually. And there's another different angle of Mythos. Not Mythos, that's a drink. Mythos. Well, that's how my Greek teacher Liana taught me to say it anyway. Yeah. And that's where we just come from there. You can just about make out Sammy in the background, I think. Don't know whether you can hear that. It's an interesting thing. See this Armco? You listen to this. See, as the sun's gone down, it's obviously cooling off, and the metal's contracting, and of course it's creaking around. Just thought you might like to hear it. I don't know why. But yeah, I could sit up here all day looking at that. Anyway, onward and upward. Let's see if we can find a quiet beach for part 2 of the video. Okay, I've just stopped again. Somebody told me about this bridge. Apparently it's built by the German army, but I don't know. Anyway, I've come down to have a look at it from the bottom upwards. You can hear the cars going across the temporary one they're putting. There you go. And that's where we are. Some of you will recognise that bridge. It's the temporary one they're putting when the old one collapsed a while back. The old one's down there. So yeah, it's interesting. So thanks for pointing that out. You viewers sometimes see things that in 30 years of coming here that I've missed. But you know, every day is a school day, as they say. Yeah, it's still here, it's still standing. Perhaps I didn't want to drive coaches over it, I don't know. Okay guys, I found the main man.
Hello everybody.
So where will you be over the weekend with these vehicles?
All over Kefalonia, Lixouri, Argosoli, everywhere.
So look out for them. And what's the name of the club?
VW Hercule Club Kefalonia. And you're all welcome to come anytime you like. Check us on Facebook, VW Fan Club Kefalonia Greece. All the info is inside there.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. Bye. So there you go, guys. If you've got a minute, I'm going to post this instead of the video that was supposed to be posted. Try and find them. Well worth the effort. Heck of a lot of vehicles and some very nice people.
Why?
Because he's filming you.
There's no point in me stopping. I've got to get to the top.
Yeah, she can't stop. She's got to get to the top. She's got a refrigerator, you know. It's Faranata.
Let's go to Sparta.
There you go. See?
Who said you couldn't?
Yeah. Ta-da!
Did it. I ain't doing it again, though.
Well, you don't have to. You've got a place in Faranata.
Yeah, that's with a fridge.
A radiator.
A radiator.
I suppose I've got to do it now.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh. Watch where you're going. Hold on.
Look, Mum, no hands.
You're falling off. off because we're all up here now. So much of us be at the bottom.
There's nobody to fall on.
No.
Now this all started because the window on the chimney won't go up. But Beer Grylls reckons he knows.
This all started because Rudgie broke the switch off the chimney, which works perfectly.
No, it didn't. It doesn't work. You watch this, look.
Keys.
Yeah, have you got the keys? Right, here we go.
Here we go.
Right, window down, see.
That in.
Put the ignition on.
Yeah. Shut the door.
Well, you don't have to shut the door, put the window up. Right.
Enough.
Yeah. Sometimes, just sometimes. I suppose you think you're clever now, don't you?
Cleverer than you. How do you sign was the wrong way around?
40 odd years in the motor trade, and an insurance man shows me how to put the window up. What we doing now anyway?
Fleece lined.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought it was in here.
is that a pack up for the car?
Hey.
It's a new Continental Cup.
Yeah. I'll go. Now this should be better than the window, or the ladder. We'll watch this now.
Oh look!
Mum's involved.
It's fluffy.
Has he got instructions with it?
The donkey will be very pleased with that.
It's very.
I tell you what, that's a bit too good for the donkey. I think I'll go to sleep in that because I'll be homeless soon. Do one of them for me bike.
Let me start. I reckon this is
Hang on. I'm just trying to figure out what is on the shift of that. You've got
Hey, it's got go fast stripes on it.
So go on. Up we go.
This will be good. Watch this, look.
And the elder the difficult. I'll do the
He
plug here.
reckons.
You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Whee!
Ooh! And this is when Terry realised he'd invented kite surfing.
I think we've been on fracture one.
Well, it's all right at the moment, but in a hooly wind, I think you might have a few issues.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate.
We've got it fracture one.
Yeah. We'll have to.
See, Mum was right.
So I'll hold it here while you turn the car around.
Me no think so. Come on, we've got caught on something.
It was at this point that they realised how the parachute was invented.
No. Why are you putting it inside out?
Yeah, why are you putting it inside out?
I'm not. If we do, it'll be twisted. Because she's gone one way and I've gone the other.
Oh, I see. It'll be twisted.
Right.
Shouldn't we have that music?
There's loads down this end.
Yeah, there's loads down that end.
It's mobile phone.
Has the donkey got a mobile? Hey, you can leave it on and drive it. Look, it's got a zip in the side. I can...
Let me have some more so I can get some.
Good to me.
Yeah, looks all right to me.
Oh,
Mm.
go fast stripes and everything.
I'm impressed with that. Yeah, that's so people don't drive into it. Although I don't think that applies to Greece, but you know. I think the French are the worst for that, though, aren't they? Oh, you got a crease in it there.
It's got zippy up here.
Yeah, so you can get in and out.
That's so you get in the door with the cover on. Why would you want to do that?
Well, it's for blind people, so they can, it could, you know, they'd still drive it, wouldn't they? They wouldn't need to see.
Well, the mobile phone's going to fall out the pocket now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous to put it that way up.
Yeah, I know. They put it that way up. They put it the wrong way up.
Yeah.
How we doing, love?
Yeah, how we doing, love?
How we doing, love? Oh, look. It's got proper straps on.
I'm just checking, make sure he's doing it right. First gust of wind we have, it'll disappear and the bumpers will go with it.
I think this is the driver's side.
Depends which country you're in.
Yeah.
Well. Okay, it's not made to measure. It's probably C and A, but hey ho.
Well, it might not be made for a donkey.
No, does it matter?
No. As long as donkey keeps dry, we don't care.
Yeah, there we go.
I think the donkey likes it still good.
Yeah. I think that's spot on that.
Yeah. I'm impressed with it.
I'm just... Look at that.
Yeah.
I can get in.
It'd be all snug in there, and when it rains, you wouldn't get wet.
You can't get in, but I can get in.
There you go.
Ta-da!
No bloodshed.
I thank you
The
all.
window wet up. Did you notice the window wet up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice the window went up. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out.
Right, I'm not going down the ladder. I'm going down.
Oh.
I'm pushing out.
Yeah.
I don't think I have actually.
And the window went up.
Yes, the window went up. Yeah. Never going to hear the last of that. It's getting an Euro car parts, Torquay. Can you drop ship another switch? Driver's side, well, left-hand drive car, driver's side, Spanish built. Can you drop ship it to him? And I'll pay for it when I get back.